We wanted to give you an open forum to talk a little bit about the medical conditions that Jet faced in his life. I know there's been a lot of things reported, and you've never talked about this.
First of all, do not believe almost a lot of the things that you read. It's just, it's amazing. So absolutely, he was autistic, and he had seizures. And when he was very young, he had Kawasaki syndrome, which is something that is not very familiar, but it has to do with, they get very sick, high fever and rashes. I'm sure you're familiar with that.
As a pediatrician, I've seen a lot of it. It's kind of, you think of it as an immune reaction
to
something. We don't know whether it's an infection, and it's quite serious. Kids can die of it. They're in the hospital for a while, and
he was in ICU. They usually recover, but he also, I researched, because I talked to all of the parents in the ICU once he was out of the woods, and they had a questionnaire of 50 different questions, and everybody answered that yes, they had had their carpets cleaned recently. So the chemicals from the carpets, and through these different things, I strongly believe, as a mother, as does my husband, that there are certain contributing factors that lead to autism.
And let's step back just one moment, because I just want to make sure everyone at home understands. When we talk about Kawasaki's disease, it is typically an illness of a young child where your body's own immune system attacks your blood vessels. And most children, luckily, are able to survive from it. In some rare circumstances, children die from it. And then moving on from that, you know, Jet was also dealing with autism, which is...
But see, it happened simultaneously. What really happened, that was kind of one of the sort of trigger points. Here's, for me, this is what I believe. I had food poisoning when I was 5 months pregnant. That can change a lot of things in your body. That's very much a toxin in your body. At birth and during labor, I was given some different medicines that I had a very fast and hard labor, which I think had played very much a part of this. I also got very high fever right after birth because of the hard labor. So there was a bit of a rupturing of the placental wall. I didn't realize this, they didn't realize this, so they wanted to give me antibiotic. I said, I can't, I'm breastfeeding. It's okay, it's safe. 3 doctors later, it was completely safe. Now, I'm not saying that you can't have antibiotics when you're breastfeeding, but it gave him thrush, which is yeast, which is candida, which really affects your gut, leaky gut. It can cause that. And there were certain other contributing factors, plus the Kawasaki's, that I believe absolutely is why he's had autism and also why he had seizures.
Jim, discuss quickly, you know, autism, because it's obviously been diagnosed.
Oh, no.
It's
huge.
Epidemic.
Huge. It's up
88 kids now is being diagnosed with that. And this is one of these
it's up 600% over the last 20 years.
In my professional life, really, I've seen it just completely blow up. And you know, when I started as a pediatrician, it was almost unheard of. Everyone's different. You ask 100 parents what their autistic child's symptoms are, and you're going to get 100 different answers.
A lot of things overlap, though. A lot of things are very similar.
Exactly, and the therapies that work are different for different kids. And you mentioned being sick while pregnant. It's interesting. A study just actually came out this November. If a mom has an illness while she's pregnant and has a fever for at least a week, that child, she's 3 times more likely to have a child that's autistic. So there's some, obviously some sort of insult happens there. But we really think, we have armies and armies of researchers out there looking at all the environmental toxins and what we're doing to our bodies and our planet. And I really think the answer is somewhere out there. And I really
because you're looking at the fact that there are thousands of synthetic chemicals out there, and you as a mother who had a child, Jet, with autism, you feel in your heart and soul that there are toxins out there that contributed.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And so you're a champion for let's try to figure this out. Let's try to get to the bottom of this. And I know that's become a big cause for you.
Exactly.